Hello everyone and welcome back to Shanahan Militaria. In today's video what we're covering is this is the GI Mess Tin, or a meat can as it's also referred to as. This design, the oval design, came into use in 1910 with some slight changes up until 1942, and then I don't actually have a definite date of when it came out of issue, but it was definitely used up until 1986 anyway, when I can still find pictures of it being used. So before I go into actual model numbers and changes and things like that, the initial time frame from when this was, from the First World War up until the Second World War, troops were designed to be, or the logistics was that troops were to be fed in the field. Even if they were on the front line, they would be fed just behind the front line. So that is pretty much why they have the mess tins, and why you see them being commonly used at that time. As I said, the initial oval shape mess tin came in 1910, just prior to the First World War. It had some slight changes up until 1918, when it became known as the M1918. And what the difference was, instead of this centre divide down the middle, it was just one flat plate, and the handle was actually connected to the top plate and not the bottom plate. And in the M1918, the top plate was slightly thicker, whereas in the M1910 it was just a flat plate. Then it changed again in 1932 when they put in the centre divide, and it became made of galvanised steel. And then it got changed again in 1942 when it became the M1942, when it was made of stainless steel. And the big changes between the First World War issue and the Second World War issue was this top plate, what became known as the kidney plate, because obviously it's got two separate dishes. This was a makeshift skillet or a frying pan when they did have canned foods and they needed to be heated up. But in general, what would happen was this would be held like this, and the soldier then would have his meat portion put into this side, and then his veg and his sauces or whatever put into this side, as he was going down along the line, that he could eat his meal. So that's pretty much it, as you see. Now, what also came with this kit was you had a knife, fork and a spoon. The initial ones had an actual cup that would fit halfway down on the outside, with a metal handle as well. I don't have one of those, but they did have them initially. But later on, around 1910, I believe it was, the water bottles came with a steel cup, so the canteens came with a steel cup, so the guys wouldn't use it. They got the steel cup off their water bottle instead. The reason that the issues that it had was obviously from galvanized steel to stainless steel. From galvanized steel, it would chip easily, and the soldiers wouldn't run into issues with the actual chipping of the pans and stuff. When they made it, they did try aluminium and things like that. The guys figured out with the aluminium ones, they couldn't heat it up enough. And if they did heat it up too much, they actually melted the pans. And with the stainless steel, what would happen was, when they were using this as a frying pan, this handle would get so hot that they had to wrap something around it to actually use it. So as for cooking in, it had its limitations. But as I said, I can still find proof of it being used up until 1986. By a British or by an American soldier, so I don't actually have a direct date when it came out of issue. So this one, I don't know if you can actually see it here, I'll try and focus in on it, is actually 1967, it's Vietnam issue, with its NATO stock number and items. So if you like what we provide here at Shanahan Militaria, please like, please subscribe, and please tune in for the next video. Thank you.